Have you ever noticed something strange? The people who always say yes often end up feeling the least appreciated. They answer every call, stay late after work, fix problems no one else wants to solve, cover for coworkers, help family members with money, take on responsibilities that were never really theirs. At first, everyone thanks them. But over time, gratitude quietly turns into expectation. People stop asking if they're available. They simply assume they will be. What begins as generosity slowly becomes an unpaid job. And without realizing it, many people spend years building a life where everyone depends on them, but very few actually value them. This is the story of a man named Elias, and the lesson that completely changed how he measured his worth. Elias lived in a growing riverside town where everyone seemed to know him. He wasn't the wealthiest merchant. He wasn't the mayor. He wasn't the smartest craftsman. But he had earned a reputation. If something goes wrong, people would say, "Call Elias," if a shipment arrived late. Elias stayed after hours. If someone's business records were a mess, Elias organized them. If a neighbor needed help moving furniture, Elias showed up. People admired him. Or at least, that's what he believed. Every thank you felt like proof that he mattered. So he kept saying yes. Soon his calendar no longer belonged to him. Every hour had already been claimed by someone else's emergency. He stopped reading the books he wanted to finish. He postponed learning new skills. He delayed starting the small investment business he had always dreamed about. Whenever he thought about his own future, another request appeared. And because he didn't want to disappoint anyone, he always agreed. Months turned into years. Something subtle changed. People stopped saying, "Would you mind helping?" Instead they said, "Elias will take care of it." His kindness had become part of everyone else's plan. One evening, after another 14-hour day solving problems that weren't his, Elias looked at his own unfinished goals. They hadn't moved in years. That night he asked himself a painful question. What have I built for myself? He didn't like the answer. A week later, life made the decision for him. An injury forced Elias to stay home. He couldn't answer calls. Couldn't solve problems. Couldn't rescue anyone. At first, people were worried. Messages filled his home. Neighbors checked on him. Friends promised everything would wait. But it didn't. Life kept moving. Businesses still opened. Projects continued. Problems appeared. Only now, people had no choice but to solve them themselves. The young accountant finally learned the software Elias always managed. A shop owner negotiated with suppliers without asking for advice. Two co-workers figured out a system that prevented the same mistake from happening again. To Elias's surprise, most people became more capable. Not because they suddenly became smarter, because they were finally forced to think. Watching from home, Elias felt something unexpected. Relief. For years, he believed everyone needed him. Now he realized something uncomfortable. Many people had simply become comfortable relying on him because he never gave them a reason not to. Several weeks later, Elias returned to work. Something was different. People still respected him. But now they asked, "Do you have time? Would this fit your schedule? If you're busy, we'll figure something else out." For the first time in years, people respected his time because they knew it wasn't unlimited. One afternoon, while walking through the town square, Elias met an elderly investor named Rowan. The old man had spent decades building successful businesses before retiring. They sat on a bench watching people hurry through the marketplace. After a long silence, Rowan asked, "What changed?" Elias smiled. "I stopped being available every minute." Rowan laughed softly. "Then you've learned one of the rarest lessons in business." Elias looked puzzled. Rowan pointed toward a young tree supported by 2 wooden stakes. "See that tree?" Elias nodded. "If those supports stay there forever," Rowan said, "what happens? It never grows strong enough to stand alone." "Exactly. The support that protects it today becomes the thing that weakens it tomorrow." The words stayed with Elias. He suddenly realized something. He hadn't been creating capable people. He had been creating dependence. The same thing happens in companies. Managers who solve every problem become bottlenecks. Parents who make every decision raise adults who fear responsibility. Friends who constantly rescue others often prevent them from growing. Even investors understand this. The goal isn't to work harder forever. It's to build systems that work without you. That's how wealth grows. That's how businesses scale. That's how freedom is created. But somehow, many people never apply that lesson to their own relationships. From that day forward, Elias changed one habit. Before saying yes, he paused. Sometimes he still helped. Sometimes he taught instead of doing. Sometimes he simply asked, "What do you think you should do?" At first, people were surprised. Later, they became stronger. Ironically, they appreciated him even more. Not because he was always there. Because when he chose to help, it actually meant something. His time became valuable precisely because it was no longer unlimited. And something remarkable happened. The extra hours he recovered each week didn't disappear. He invested them. He learned new skills. Built new income streams. Improved his health. Spent evenings with people he loved instead of fixing everyone else's problems. His life finally began moving forward. Many people believe being needed is the same as being valuable. It isn't. Being needed often means you've become someone else's solution. Being valuable means you've built a life that doesn't require sacrificing yourself every day to prove your worth. Your time is your greatest asset. Unlike money, you can never earn more of it. Every unnecessary yes is an investment you're making. The only question is, what is it paying you back? If the answer is exhaustion, resentment, or dreams that keep getting postponed, the investment isn't working. Perhaps the greatest act of generosity isn't solving every problem that comes your way. Perhaps it's giving people the space to discover they were capable all along. Because when you stop carrying everyone else's future, you finally have the strength to build your own. And that may be the most valuable investment you'll ever make.